Alright guys, TouchCribbit here, back again today, and the Pro League starts again tonight for Division B this time. So we've got 2 more weeks of the Pro League, then we've got, I think, a week off, and then it will be CWL Anaheim. So yeah, that's correct. And then Anaheim starts on the 14th of June, go through to the 16th, and then after that we have a 4-day roster change period from the 17th through to the 20th. Then we have a little bit of time off, 2 weeks of cross-divisional play, then leading into the CWL finals, which are the 19th to the 21st of July, and after that it shouldn't be too long until champs. I think it was in August last year, so it'll probably be another month from when finals is, or 3 weeks or something like that, and then we'll have CWL champs, but we'll have a lot of time off before Call of Duty World Championship comes around. So I hope you guys are looking forward to the action. Some Pro League to enjoy once again, and it should be a lot of interesting matches I think this week, so we'll go through that. Firstly, I wanted to quickly say something I put in the pinned comment of yesterday. Some of you have asked over the last couple of months, and initially asked when I initially started the Patreon. So for those of you who don't know, I have a Patreon account. Only, you know, if you're incredibly generous and feeling ridiculously kind, then you know, there's a few patrons which you can see, of course, in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Those are the $10 ones. The other ones are linked, not linked, but their names are down in the comment section of the description box, even of every single one of my videos. So thanks a lot for those guys. I really don't tell you how much I appreciate it. But I've now opened up the option. I thought I had to pay PayPal to do this, but it turns out you can do it for free. I've got a PayPal link, so if you guys have just received a paycheck or something like that, and you don't want to go through the hassle of going through Patreon, or if you have political issues with what Patreon have been doing, or if you don't like the fact that Patreon take a cut of the money you give them, then if you still really want to donate, then you can do so through the PayPal link. Of course, no obligation to do so, but just for a couple of you guys who have mentioned it over the last month, I thought I'd mention that is now a possibility if you are feeling excessively generous. But of course, as I say, no obligation to do so. Just watching the videos is enough. If you really want to like them and subscribe, even hit the bell if you're feeling really in the mood, then go right ahead. So let's hop right into this today. Firstly, I wanted to talk about this just very briefly. This thing that came out the last couple of days. The World Health Organization has officially approved classifying a gaming disorder / addiction, which of course has incited a lot of, well, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, it's just old people in their high horses pretending that gaming is an addiction. Obviously, there is two sides to this, because I do think that this kind of thing does exist. There is people that have, you know, ruined their lives off getting effectively addicted to particular video games. It's not like the WHO is going to be classifying everyone like this, but of course it's going to be contentious, isn't it? Because if you sit and watch a movie for 3 hours, is that entertainment addiction or something? But if you play video games for 3 hours, are they going to classify that as some sort of addiction? I'm not denying that it does exist. As Chris Huck says here, you know, it's definitely real, but whether they're going to classify it as how it's going to happen is obviously in the far future. But I thought I'd just raise that to your guys' attention because it's pretty interesting. It's going to be an official disorder. So maybe you can become entitled for disability benefits if you do grind Call of Duty many hours a day. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but you know, we'll have to see. It comes in from 2022 or something like that, so of course it's a long way off. Let's hop right into here then the matches for this week. Firstly, actually, I didn't expect this to come up. I brought this up in advance. These are the top 10 players from the last week, courtesy of EasyMac, and Lion Man puts together these graphics. You may know these guys, of course. EasyMac, I use his stats in my videos or the recaps, and then Lion Man has been creating these lovely cards. So I'll leave both their Twitters linked down below. And yeah, here we have the top 10 players by statistics from the last week. So it's quite interesting how dashy. A lot of people were talking about how quiet he was. He had a couple of, you know, poor maps going, you know, more negative than you would expect, but still on the whole had very strong stats. So, you know, these are the top 10. I thought that you guys would be interested to see them. Phantom's right up there. Of course, Scrap's just absolutely demolishing, apart from his search and destroy. If FaZe can somehow turn around their search, like, can you imagine like the kind of numbers these lads are going to be putting up? Zero up there as well, and a lot of players on Optic Gaming here. I think Tej was in 11th, so shows how good Optic were doing when all their 5 players are in the top 11 performers from Division A on the week. But of course, you know, FaZe have 3 guys as well. So interesting, of course, but I thought we'd move on now maybe to this week's matches. Let's have a look. Oh, hey, well, actually, this isn't quite yet. These are the results from CWL London. So I thought I'd maybe refer to these back and forth as we go through. Okay, so here we go. These are tonight's matches. Hot Mike starts up with Temp, Octane, and Simp, with, of course, Maven himself at 5:30 Eastern Time, which is 2:30 PM Pacific Time, 10:30 PM British Summer summertime, and further if you're further east of that. So, and then the matches start at 11 p.m. My time, and they will start tomorrow, and the rest of the days at 8 p.m. If you are new to this, there's only 2 matches on a Monday, and then the other days there'll be 4 matches, and then they'll be brought back. The start time of the day will be brought back by 3 hours to accommodate for those 2 extra matches. So tonight we have Envy versus Denial and Enigma 6 versus Splice. These are exciting times. A lot of these matches are exciting because Denial, of course, they made their roster change before, well, a very significant roster change, and of course they've had a lot of external issues as well, not paying the French players. Brack has indeed taken Denial out of his bio, saying that he's not even contracted to them, and something's going on. And I think Bance did the same, taking Denial out of his bio, almost implying that that they aren't getting paid by them right now, or something's going on with Denial. And I've even seen people like Tommy, what's his name, Lurpis, talking about very recently how Denial have been involved with some dodgy stuff. So I don't really know what's going on with the organisation itself. What I do know is they made a change before CWL London, and it didn't go very well. Of course, they come top 16. They had a decent result. They beat Luminosity actually, but of course it's Luminosity. What could you say about that at the current time? So yeah, they had a decent result over there, but then they lost all their other matches. So obviously they had a difficult pool. They were in that pool with Genji and Splice as well. So we'll have to see how it goes here. Here they're up against Envy, who looked very good towards the end of London. They also started off kind of slow and then really turned up the gear towards the end, ended up getting taken down by United, who went on to compete in the grand final. So I think you've got to favour Envy here. I do think that Denial can improve significantly. I think the Bance on the Sorg was very good. I think the Rated on the ICR, or whatever assault rifle he chooses to use on particular maps, should be at least at the very best solid, at the very least solid. Brack has been very good as well. So it's on Joe and Alex, see how they perform, because Alex really wasn't good at London at all. I feel like on the whole this team can improve and be very good. I would expect them to be, I don't know, top 8 or something come champs. I think they can get around that ballpark, maybe a little bit higher on a good day. These kind of players have made grand finals before, but right now I don't think that's feasible. I think that in this 2-week split, they have a reasonable chance of pushing towards some sort of like 4-3 performance or something like that. Maybe they can aim for that. Maybe 5-2 is attainable, but it's going to be difficult with the kind of caliber of teams of the upper echelons of this group. I don't bet them to beat Envy. I think the 100 Thieves and the United are going to be very tough as well, and then whether they can take down Splice and beat the teams they should is also up for contention. But this one I'm going to go Envy, of course, as I'm sure a lot of people will. Enigma 6 versus Splice is interesting because Splice are kind of an up and down team. I feel like sometimes they just turn up and are absolutely monstrous, and then other times they do seem to look a bit lackluster. I'm going to pick Splice in this one just because they are the favourites, but Jet Li did tweet this, got on my plane, opened my eyes, and now I'm in a higher. The grind has been real and we've got so much to convince everyone because we've improved so much. Time to be in the driver's seat, says Jet Li on E6. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're a very competitive team right now. I thought they were going to be pretty good going into London. Didn't really show it too much. I think they lost to Envy in the first round. So yeah, difficult turn of events. They weren't so good in the pools either, but they did have a very tough pool, of course, in that pool A alongside Reciprocity, who they actually beat, and then 100 Thieves and Optic Gaming, which was just incredibly tough for them. But yeah, until they prove otherwise, I'm going to go with Splice in this matchup. Of course, last week I did predict, in the last time I did this video, before the first week, I predicted Midnight to not do so well against a couple of teams, and then they started performing well, and then, I predicted them to win in my CoD Gamepedia rankings, but it's difficult to say before we see any of these teams in action. So, of course, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. So, Tuesday's matches, Denial 100 Thieves, very tough start to the week for Denial. If they can even win one of these 2 matches against Envy or 100 Thieves, I'll be very impressed. Don't think it's going to happen. I think 100 Thieves are probably still very filthy. Obviously watching their YouTube content doesn't mean too much, but seem to be doing very well in practice as well. And then Splice Elevate. I think this Elevate team has got something to prove. I think they've done rather well actually at London, all things considered. Won a series that I wasn't really expecting them to. The French guys do tend to be pretty good, and let's not forget Denial, when they were the French guys that are now on this Elevate team, actually did have a couple of pretty damn good results against Splice in the league. I think they even beat them one time. So you never know. It's a real mishmash of players, but it seems to be kind of working out for Elevate, at least from our expectations, because a lot of people thought, okay, they're downright, worst team in the league, but they seem to somehow be getting stuff together. I still don't think they're going to be a good team, at least in the context of the whole Pro League, but we'll have to see how it goes. I think I should still pick Splice over them in this one though. Heretics Envy is very exciting. Heretics had a pretty good London overall, but I do think that Envy should be favourites on paper here. It's difficult to say because Heretics did very well in the league in the past, and they did very well in London on the whole, all things considered as well. But Envy really did turn up latter half of London. And yes, Heretics got 3-0'd by United to lose the tournament, but so did Envy get 3-0'd as well. So I really can see this one going either way. Tough to call. I'm probably going to take Envy because I just feel like maybe on paper their team is slightly stronger, but it's difficult to say. In a league setting, I really think this one's a very 50-50 matchup. Probably going to favour Envy just slightly. Maybe they feel like they have slightly more reason to win because their record in the league hasn't been so good compared to, you know, what kind of performances Heretics have been putting up here at 18-3, as you can see. So yeah, these are the standings right now. 100 Thieves, United and Heretics topping the tables. So yeah, Heretics are a very competent team. I think I'm just going to slightly favour Envy, but it's very much a 55-45 matchup in my opinion. Then we have United and Enigma 6. Going to favour United on current form. Simp, if he continues to play like he has, they're just an absolute force to be reckoned with. One of the very best teams in the game. Going to be looking forward to them playing up against 100 Thieves, I think, later in the week, or maybe next week. We'll have a look at that in just a second when we get to Thursday's matches. These are Wednesday's matches. Denial, Elevate. Denial, I think I'm going to favour in this one. Just have to see how it goes. I think this should be a close series. Of course, Denial, as I say, the tough couple of matches to come off the start of the week against. Then they go up against Elevate, so it should be an attainable matchup for them. I think by the time they play Elevate, they should really be getting things together. So I'm going to favour Denial at that point. Heretics, Enigma 6, of course, it really depends how good E6 are on the day. I think they're definitely going to have at least one win this week, probably get some sort of upset win somewhere. But on paper, I'm probably going to say Heretics are going to be the better team here. It's difficult because, of course, if Kismet's back to form, if, Kismet and Jet Li on that SMG duo, and then we've got GodRx on this team now, who is a very scary player as well, Frosty and General, of course. Very difficult team to beat. I think in this matchup, it could go either way, but Heretics are probably the favourites, so I'm just going to favour them in another 55-45, but it's very tough to say. Splicey United is going to be a fun one. I think I'm going to favour United on their form at CWL London. As I say, if Simp continues the absolute reign of terror he's been on, it's going to be tough for Splice to do much. And yeah, accuracy hasn't maybe been so good. So in terms of pure firepower with that Simp addition to the team, I think United have probably got a leg up on Splice right now. And 100 Thieves Envy is exciting as well. Of course, United beat the Envy team that went on to play 100 Thieves and lose to them in the finals at London. So on paper, 100 Thieves should be better than Envy as well, I guess, in theory. So I'm going to pick 100 Thieves here, at least at the current time. And then let's go on to Thursday's matches. Enigma 6 Elevate. I think I'm going to go Enigma 6 on this one. Splice Denial. I should pick Splice. But I don't know. I feel like there's upset potential there. I've got to choose at least one upset, haven't I? So I'm going to go Denial over Splice in this matchup. I don't know. Maybe things will change earlier in the week and one team will start performing really well or something. But going to go with Denial over Splice here, just on gut instinct. And then 100 Thieves should beat Heretics. I think 100 Thieves are just way too disciplined right now. Coming off their previous event victory, I think it's on other teams to prove that 100 Thieves aren't worthy of their number one spot at the current time. And then United Envy, it was a 3-0, I'm pretty sure, at CWL London. The crowd was on a United side, but Enclaister was playing great. But I do think United once again have an advantage here on their current form. So that's what I'm going to go with today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate to hear your thoughts all down in the comment section below, as I'm sure you will, because you always do. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I will see you next time.
Yeah, they can come tin, but he was expecting that. Well played.
It's all up to you now. Finish this.
Alright, that's all I could see. He went tin, it looked like.
1v3. Come on, you got this. Alright.
That was the guy. My god. Oh my god! Ah! Oh.
Lola, high fives, let's go.
Did I shoot in the montage?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, steamy.
Easy.